Hey y'all! Chances are if you're new to the IB program, you're probably confused about how the IB grading system works. So today we're going to break down how exactly your IB scores are calculated and weighted. Today we're also going to cover how to maintain a healthy lifestyle during the IB program. Sometimes things can get pretty crazy, and learning about skills like time management and balance can really help. For this video, we draw not only on our personal experiences, but from information from YouTuber IBelieve. Her channel is in the description box below. Be sure to check it out for more information. So scoring an IB can be a little confusing. The first thing you need to understand is that you will receive 2 grades for each IB class you're in. The first is the standard A to F letter grade that goes on your high school transcript. The second is the IB diploma score, or what we will refer to as the IB score. Just to reiterate, the A to F letter grade that goes on your high school transcript has nothing to do with your IB diploma score. However, it is a good indicator of what the IB score could be. So, in each IB class you take an assessment in, you will receive an IB score ranging from 1 to 7, 1 being the lowest and 7 being the highest. This IB score is calculated based on your results on 2 types of exams, the internal assessments and external assessments. So, external assessments are the standard assessments most high school kids are used to, such as AP tests and standardized testing like the SAT. Usually, these tests consist of multiple choice questions and a written section. In an IB, we refer to the external assessments as papers. Usually, papers last up to several hours, split over the course of 2 days. Internal assessments, which IB students often refer to as IAs, take on different names in different subjects. For example, in classes like biology, we call the internal assessment the II, or individual investigation. For this internal assessment, students must design an experiment and write a paper on their findings. In Spanish, the internal assessment is called the IB oral. In this IA, students spontaneously speak in Spanish after receiving a prompt from their teacher. Although the names and styles of these various assessments are different, they are all classified as IAs, or internal assessments that are done as part of the class over a period of time. As you can probably tell by now, the internal assessments challenge students in different ways than external assessments or papers do.
But the biggest difference between your IAs, your internal assessments, and your papers, your external assessments, are that IAs are graded by your teachers. Some IAs are chosen as samples and sent to external moderators. These moderators are meant to check your teacher's grading. If they find that your teacher was a little too easy when grading, they might lower the scores of everyone in your class. Conversely, if they feel that your teacher was too harsh when grading, they might add 1 to 2 points to your score. But if your teacher's grading matches up with the grades that the moderators would give, nothing happens to your score. Then your scores for the internal and external assessments will be tallied and converted into your IB score. The breakdown of the weights of each assessment differs between class to class, so you might have to look for a little bit more in-depth information about that. Additionally, HL classes are designed to be harder than SL classes, so someone in the HL class of a subject will have to work much harder to get the same grade as someone in the SL class of the same subject. Regardless, the total scores of each class will be tallied along with the points for your EE and TOK. For the EE and TOK, your grade is on a scale of A to E, with A being the best. This is then converted into a score of 1, 2, or 3 bonus points to be added onto your final IB score. With 7 points available in your 6 IB classes, plus 3 bonus points at the end, you can have a total of 45 points in your IB diploma, but you only need 24 to pass. However, there are some confusing rules. IBelieve goes over them in her channel, so be sure to check it out in the description below. But here's a quick recap. You can't get an E in the EE or TOK, you can't have a 1 in any of your classes, you can't have a 2 in any of your HL classes, and you can't have more than 1 2 in your SL classes, you can't have 3 3s, and you must have at least 12 points total in your HL classes and 9 points total in your SL classes. Now, this might sound a little confusing all at first, but don't worry, over time you'll get the hang of it. Now for preparing for IB. You would obviously want to know how to prepare for IB if you're planning on going into it. But be warned, and we have this is not released by IB, and it is opinionated and based on our own experiences. Obviously, IB will be harder than normal classes, but what's even more stressful is that Interlake's curriculum is an IB AP curriculum, which means it combines IB's fast-paced nature with AP's depth in the knowledge. So it's even more challenging. But don't be concerned. Hundreds of kids have gone through this program, and soon, so will you. A lot of people we know have said that college is actually easier having gone through IB. So, don't be afraid, because this is going to prepare you for the rest of your educational life. When it comes down to it, most of the preparation of IB is teaching yourself how to deal with the stress. One of the most important skills is time management. This means learning how to balance your school life with sports, extracurriculars, and your social life.
The next part of this video will discuss how being punctual and prioritizing is really important to the IB program, but it's still really important to make sure you're maintaining good health. So, on to the next part. Your experience in the IB program is essentially all about prioritizing. You need to constantly reevaluate and ask yourself, should I be doing this assignment first or the other one? Which one's due first? Which one's weighted more? In which class do I have a higher grade? It's these types of questions that'll help you determine which projects you should be doing and which projects are your biggest importance. And from there, you'll be a lot more successful and be able to handle things a lot better. But this idea doesn't only apply to school, it applies to your entire life. For example, is it a better idea for you to de-stress and go get ice cream right now, or can you grind that paper and then maybe get some sleep later on? Obviously, IB is not going to be the only thing you're doing, and it's important to realize which things are important to you and their order of importance so that you can prioritize better and stay on top of your work. For me personally, IB is and was really important, so spending time with my friends wasn't that big of a priority. And even when I did spend time with my friends, it was usually for study groups and making sure we all knew answers to questions and going over information that we've already learned. So really, I didn't really spend time with my friends that much this year. But, that being said, regardless of how much work you have, taking breaks is so important. And oftentimes, it'll make you even more efficient. That 10-minute walk or hanging out with your dog can be exactly what you need to bounce back even better. So, by taking breaks and prioritizing, you set yourself up for success and make sure that you can be on top of things and get your assignments done on time and have time to study. That is being punctual in IB, and it's really important. Being punctual in the IB diploma program essentially just means making sure you can get all your assignments done on time and that you have time to study for your tests days or even sometimes weeks in advance. Procrastination will really be your biggest enemy. And the thing is, you can't procrastinate forever. You have to start the assignment sometime. So it's better to start early than later on. And that being said, the program is really, really stressful. You have so much going on. You have life outside of IB. You have other circumstances and situations that can maybe challenge you and your ability to finish your work. And that's why it's important to always be communicating with your teachers. If you have a valid reason that really is concerning, your teachers will sympathize and understand. After all, they understand how difficult the IB program is. At least at Interlake, more often than not, your teachers can be really understanding if you communicate with them and maybe even give you extensions or be more lenient so that you feel comfortable and you're not completely stressed out. So keep in mind that your teachers are a resource. Don't be scared of them. Rather, just stay in contact with them and make sure that you're using them to your advantage. And that brings us to mental health. All students, especially IB students, need to maintain both good physical and mental health. Many IB students tend to get overwhelmed by the immense course load and the peer pressure that's telling you that you need to continue to get good grades. So that's why it's really important to take time for yourself. Spend time with your family and your friends so that you can balance out the rigor of IB. It's really important to care for yourself throughout the diploma program and, of course, throughout your entire life. And there are many ways to do this, whether that be taking a walk, playing sports, spending time with your family and friends, or even talking to a counselor. Know that you're not alone. You have many resources, and I guarantee you, most of the students in IB are feeling the exact same way that you are. So, in conclusion, we understand how confusing and how stressful getting into IB can be. If you've never been in a situation like this or never have had so much work to do, it can be really daunting. But we're hoping that the tips and tricks that we've talked about throughout this video can help you stay on top of your things and make sure you're both efficient and productive. Good luck.
And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, make sure to comment them down below and we'll try to respond to them.